So I decided I wanted to record an episode on writing better sales copy faster. And for some reason, Daft Punk got stuck in my head. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger, right? Okay, better, fat. Okay, I'm sorry. But I thought, I could have a little bit of fun, plus provide you 5 valuable tips on writing sales copy better and faster for stronger results, not harder, but easier, right? And so that's what we're going to do in today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content like this delivered to you. Let's dive in. These are the proven direct response marketing, copywriting, and entrepreneurship success strategies you can use today to write your own ticket and create the life you want. I am Roy Furr, and this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Now, here's today's breakthrough. All right, today's episode is sponsored by me, as usual. Today's link that I want you to check out is to my High-Velocity Copywriting training program. Now, this is probably one of those courses that if I were to sell it separately, I could easily charge $1,000 or more for it, but I decided to include it in BTMSinsiders as like my flagship copywriting course to help you write better sales copy faster. It's High-Velocity Copywriting. Come on, people. The link is in the description. Let's just go ahead and check it out. And with that, I'm going to dive into today's tips, 5 tips to help you write better sales copy faster. Tip number 1, know what the heck you're going to say. Know what you're going to say. So in fiction writing, there's this thing called plotters versus pantsers. And let's start with the pantsers. Pantsers are people who fly by the seat of their pants as they're writing. So they say, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write a novel, right? And they just open up that blank page and they start writing. And I know that some people, especially some experienced, skilled writers, develop this skill to the point where they can just kind of fly by the seat of their pants and they can create pretty darn good writing in that way. I think a lot of what's happening in their cases is they've got a lot of it up here in their heads, but they, when they actually sit down at the keyboard, they're able to take what's in their head with the organization that's there and put it on the page. On the other hand, there are the plotters, and that is somebody who actually maps out the plot of their story ahead of time. And I used to be more of a pantser, but I've firmly fallen into the plotters camp as a writer over, the last few years, whatever, as I realized that as a copywriter, if you don't plan out to make sure that your message matches the buying process of your prospects, of your market, you're probably not going to get nearly the response that you could if you're much more intentional about it. And so when I sit down to write copy, usually what I'm working from, even like in the case of this episode, I created a general structure outline of the things that I want to say. I didn't script this to the level of I scripted every word that's coming out of my mouth. And maybe that's a little bit obvious sometimes as I am going through these episodes, but I still know exactly what I'm going to say. I know the points that I want to hit in what order, and then they just come out. Well, I approach writing in the exact same way. I say, if I'm going to make this selling message work, here are the things that I need to say, and I will outline that, and then I will use that to write my first draft from. It helps you write better copy faster because then you're just writing what you've already thought out. And an important thing that you can add as you go to structure this outline is you can add proof that supports your main points. And so you can link through to articles, you can use quotes, you can do whatever, you can bring those into your outline. So then as you are sitting down to write, to create your copy, you are much more effective at looping in, okay, here's the claim that I want to make and here's how I'm going to back it up. Tip number 2, have something to write about. Have something to write about. It is really easy to just have this idea that I need to sell this thing. So I'm just going to start writing to try and convince somebody to buy this thing. But most often that's not compelling enough to actually get somebody to take action. Instead, you need to focus on what is the big idea that my message is going to be built around. And that's what I'm talking about with this, have something to write about. So the way that I teach it in High-Velocity Copywriting A big idea is going to be based on one of three things. Number one, it's going to offer the solution to an urgent problem. Number two, it is going to introduce a 10x opportunity, an opportunity to get what's desired 10 times better or more effectively than what's been tried so far. Or number three, it's going to make an imminent prediction of something that's going to happen that's going to lead to an urgent problem that needs to be solved or a 10x opportunity for the prospect. And what you need to be doing as you are thinking about what you're going to write about, you need to think about like, what idea here is going to compel me, right? And then as a writer, when you are compelled by this idea, then you can translate you being excited about it into the writing, into the message that you want to convey. Tip number three, tell stories. Stories make your copy way more interesting all the time anyway. But the good news about that is that once you have kind of captured that story and you can imagine the three-dimensional world in which the story takes place, it's way easier and faster to write than if you are just trying to write promise copy. And the other thing is it makes your point better than via logic or traditional sales copy. If you're just trying to like pitch someone via traditional sales copy, it's not as compelling as if you tell a story of someone, maybe it's you, maybe it's one of your customers, that has gone through this challenge before and overcome it with some version of your product or service, and now your prospect has an opportunity to do that. And the best type of story presents this like hell to heaven transition, meaning like having this unsolved problem or this unfulfilled opportunity is this hell situation, and you explore all the negative scenarios of that. Like, why is that so emotionally agitating, right? And then there is a path that's taken by the protagonist of the story into this heaven space where the problem is solved, where the opportunity is fulfilled. And it is in that path that's taken that the story takes place. And that's an incredibly compelling story arc for any kind of storytelling. And in particular, it's an incredibly compelling story arc for story selling, for sales copy. Tip number four, write a terrible first draft. So many times as copywriters, we compare our terrible first drafts to the polished copy of someone who has probably years, maybe even decades more experience than us. And we're always feeling like we're not good enough when we compare our first drafts to their polished, finalized, sometimes optimized copy. And so what you need to do as any kind of writer, in particular a copywriter in this case, is you need to get it out of your head. You need to write a draft that it is acceptable if it is terrible, it's acceptable if it's bad. You just write it. You write it, and then you come back and you edit it and you refine it. Most of my copy has seen pass after pass after pass after pass after pass of editing, even before I'm submitting it to any kind of review, either with the client or through peer review, and certainly before it goes into the market. I'm just constantly editing. I'm writing and then I'm editing, and I'm writing and I'm editing. And it's something where it is always a case of when it first comes out of my head and it first gets on the page, it's never nearly as good as it can be if I take some time to make it better. And so if you want to write better copy faster, just getting the first draft out on the page so that you can edit it, it will take you a long way towards getting that final draft out and making it better and making it done much faster. Tip number 5 that I have for you today, if you want to write better sales copy faster, harder, stronger, hat tip to or helmet tip to Daft Punk, is just sell the damn thing. Hat tip to Doberman Dan for that language, who gets it by way of John Carlton or Gary Halbert or both or something. He's definitely in that lineage and worked with Gary Halbert for a bit. But just sell the damn thing is a reminder that as copywriters, our goal is to get someone to take action. Our goal is to compel action. And so we need to dive right into that action. Right? It's very easy for us to get focused on how can we write in a way that looks good, that sounds good, that feels good, right? But ultimately, what we need to do is write in a way that gets them to take action, not to get them to admire your writing, not to get the client to admire your writing, whatever. The goal is to just get the prospect to take action. And when you focus on that with your writing, when you just get laser focused on what does this person have to believe in order to get them to take action, and how can I present my selling message in a way that conveys that belief? And then how can I compel them to take action through my presentation of the offer and through a direct call to action? Your writing is going to come out faster, and it's going to be much more compelling. It's going to be much better. Now, of course, you can go much deeper into copywriting, and these 5 tips are just scratching the surface of how to write, let's call it high-velocity copyright, how to write high-velocity copy. And for that, you should check out my high-velocity copywriting program. Just a reminder, it's inside BTMS Insiders in the training library. It's like Netflix for copywriting and marketing training. You pay one low monthly fee, you get instant streaming access to the entire catalog. I'll link you straight through to the description of high-velocity copywriting in this description. And hey, why not sign up for BTMS Insiders for the next month, risk-free, and see how it might work for you. I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. And hey, I want to help you write better, stronger copy faster. And follow these tips and follow what you learn in high-velocity copywriting, and you're going to make it happen. I'll catch you soon in the next episode. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.